Pripyat was the city of the future, not only by 1970 standards. Pripyat Hospital served the town's nearly 50,000 residents as a fully equipped medical facility which could accommodate 410 patients at once. Not far from it, the residential area took the biggest part of the city. It was once a place for a thriving community, home to the workers of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant and their families. We spent years scanning these and other places inside the Chernobyl Exclusion Zone, and we wanted to translate the real place into the gameplay needs, but respectfully and accurately. Today, you're going to hear more about how we did it and how it corresponds with the real-life Exclusion Zone. Hello guys, this time we continue the subject I have started on Wednesday. If you missed that episode, remember to check it out later. You can find links to that and other videos below in the description of this one. Today I'm going to tell you more about our work on the Pripyat Hospital and Pripyat residential area. I will cover the history of this place as well as how we remade it in Chernobylite. Sit comfortably and enjoy. Let's start. Chernobyl Exclusion Zone. The fusion of fact and fiction. Part 2. Pripyat Hospital and Residential. Pripyat was the city of the future, not only by 1970 standards. Even today, a lot of people point out that its designers put a lot of effort into making this Atomgrad a true place for its citizens. The most distinctive feature of Pripyat's urban landscape was the prioritization of nature and recreational spaces. The city included parks, lakes, and a substantial amusement park. That was one of the good sides of building the whole place from scratch. They could plan it well and didn't have to worry about existing infrastructure. Despite its proximity to the nuclear plant, about 4 kilometers, it was surrounded by forests and the natural environment was integrated into the urban layout to promote a healthy lifestyle. This corresponded well with the citizens, most of which were in their late 20s and early 30s, so people who just started or were about to start their own families, people who often got their first job in Pripyat, most likely in the power plant. This thoughtful planning meant that Pripyat was not just a place of residence, but a well-rounded community designed to foster a high quality of life. It was important due to a very demanding workplace, the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. But the city was not only about the nuclear energy industry. Of course, it was the main reason the whole area was adjusted to its needs. But both the power plant and the citizens needed more infrastructure. Because of this, more jobs were created and more places built, like Pripyat Port or Pripyat Hospital, very advanced for their times. However, the disaster abruptly ended this development, turning Pripyat into a ghost town and leaving its residential areas as a haunting reminders of what had been and what was lost. Pripyat Hospital. The Pripyat Hospital, officially known as Hospital number 126, is an iconic site within the Exclusion Zone. Located in the ghost town of Pripyat near the infamous nuclear power plant, this hospital gained significant notoriety in the aftermath of the disaster on April 26, 1986. Pripyat Hospital served the town's nearly 50,000 residents as a fully equipped medical facility which could accommodate 410 patients at once, not including people in need who didn't need to stay for a longer time. As a key healthcare site, it was equipped to handle a wide range of medical needs, from routine care to emergencies. During the Soviet times, all specialized equipment was scarce and the same principle applied to healthcare. Despite this, Pripyat was equipped with many new technologies and was perceived as one of the best hospitals in the region. In the initial hours and days after the disaster, the hospital became a hotspot for radiation, particularly in the basement where the firefighters' clothing was discarded. These clothes were so highly radioactive that they significantly contaminated the whole hospital. Due to the high levels of radiation and the evacuation of Pripyat, the hospital was quickly abandoned. It remains so to this day, often with original equipment, beds, and even personal belongings left exactly as they were in the rush to leave the city. The hospital, especially its basement with the radioactive clothing, is a point of interest for both scientific researchers studying the effects of the disaster and tourists visiting the exclusion zone. However, due to the dangerous levels of radiation that can still be present, particularly in the areas like the basement, access is highly restricted. The other danger is the buildings of the hospital themselves. Left to decay, without any maintenance, they are slowly collapsing. Staircases, windows, doors and even floors are not in good condition, and exploring the site poses a real threat. We know something about it, as our teammate Michał almost fell into one of the shafts when the iron railing literally turned into dust in his hands and the whole staircase behind him collapsed. The hospital is frequently featured in documentaries and photo essays about the Chernobyl disaster. It serves as an educational site that illustrates the human cost of the catastrophe and the heroic efforts of first responders who faced unimaginable conditions in the immediate aftermath of the explosion. In real life, Pripyat Hospital, once a vital healthcare facility for the residents of the city, now stands as one of the most infamous sites within the Chernobyl exclusion zone. The hospital gained notoriety because it housed the clothing of firefighters and plant workers who first responded to the reactor explosion, garments that remain highly radioactive to this day. The hospital's eerie, silent corridors and contaminated relics underscore the sudden and devastating impact of the disaster on the local community. In Chernobylite, Pripyat Hospital is depicted with stunning accuracy, bringing to life the foreboding atmosphere of its real-life counterpart. Players can explore the dilapidated halls, encountering remnants of the past such as abandoned medical tools and personal belongings. This location is one of the most important in the game, featuring at least 2 or 3 major story events. It intensifies the sense of dread with supernatural elements and environmental storytelling, allowing you to piece together the tragic events that unfolded within its walls. This in-game representation not only enhances the horror and suspense, but also pays homage to the real-life stories of bravery and sacrifice associated with this hospital, making it a pivotal location in your journey through the Chernobyl exclusion zone. Pripyat Residential. The residential area took the biggest part of the city, and it was scattered around. In Pripyat, there were many points of interest, easily accessible thanks to good planning. The whole city was not bigger than a few square kilometers, so going on a walk from one end to another would take about half an hour. Despite its small size, the architects took care to secure enough living space for quite a large number of people without squeezing too many buildings one by one. Of course, those weren't any villas, but almost only apartment buildings. Still, they were nicely spaced away from each other, creating a sense of vast space and comfortable living. In real life, the residential areas of Pripyat were once a place for a thriving community, home to the workers of the Chernobyl nuclear power plant and their families. The city's apartment buildings, playgrounds, schools and shops were designed to support a vibrant, close-knit population. However, following the disaster, the entire Atomgrad was evacuated, leaving behind a hauntingly frozen snapshot of Soviet life in the mid-80s. To be fair, Pripyat citizens had access to more resources than most of the other USSR cities. On the other hand, being able to have a few more things to buy at a local shop was still not terribly impressive compared to the US at the time, for example. However, stocking up local shops, stores and factories a bit better was a normal practice for the Soviets, and they did it in many other places. This particular one was crucial to the needs of the country: nuclear energy. Today, the residential buildings stand abandoned, with nature slowly reclaiming the area. Empty apartments, crumbling facades and overgrown playgrounds serve as a poignant reminders of the lives abruptly interrupted by the catastrophe. In Chernobylite, the residential area of Pripyat is meticulously recreated, capturing the eerie stillness and decayed beauty of its real-life counterpart. Similar to some other locations, we had to make a small compromise. We included only part of the apartment buildings. Some of them are visible on the Pripyat Central map, while you can see most of them on the Pripyat Port map, with selected ones possible to enter and explore. You can take a look at the deserted apartment buildings, discovering personal artifacts and remnants of the daily life left behind in the hasty evacuation. Chernobylite integrates these elements into its narrative, using the environment to tell stories of loss and resilience. Alongside the plot, which can be a lot different depending on your gameplay style and choices, we added more to the place. Supernatural occurrences and interactive events add layers of tension and mystery, making the exploration of Pripyat's residential areas both unsettling and captivating. You will be able to meet important characters and NPCs as well as enemies. Unfortunately, not only human ones, as the monsters are lurking in the abandoned, dark places all around you. You're going to have to fight your fears to find your love, Tatiana, and you're going to need to explore this part of the Chernobylite world too. This detailed representation of the Pripyat residential area not only enhances the atmosphere, but also offers you a deeply immersive experience, connecting you and our Chernobylite story to the historical and emotional weight of the real-life disaster. Despite we made a survival horror game, we spent years scanning these and other places inside the Chernobyl Exclusion Zone, and we wanted to translate the real place into the gameplay needs, but respectfully and accurately. I think we managed to give you a unique experience based on our feelings and emotions that arose when we traveled there multiple times over the last decades. Please share this video if you like it. Leave a comment and hit the like button too if you want to help us more. I think our channel is now a good place to learn about the whole Chernobyl disaster and even more, as we covered, for example, the RBMK design or Pripyat history. These last days were really intense. This episode marks the second video published on our channel this week. The next one is prepared and will be going live on Sunday, as always. We also announced the console update date. It's going to be online on Monday, July 22nd. Sorry you had to wait, but we finally managed to fight the obstacles and publish it so all our console stalkers can enjoy the full Chernobylite experience. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. That's it for today, guys. Take care, stay safe, and see you next week.